Britain. There's your papers.
Now, in the UK, strokes are the third most common cause of death after cancer and coronary heart disease. But do you know how to spot the symptoms?
Well, over the past few weeks, a TV campaign by the Department of Health has been highlighting the signs to look out for. Let's remind ourselves of what they are.
When a stroke strikes, it spreads like a fire in the brain. The longer it goes undetected, the more damage is done. To spot the signs of a stroke, you have to think and act fast. F. Face. Has their face fallen on one side? Can they smile? A. Arms. Can they raise both arms and keep them there? S. Speech. Is their speech slurred? T. Time. Just like a fire, it's time to call 999 if you see any single one of these signs. The faster you act, the more of the person you save. When stroke strikes, act fast.
Well, it's not only elderly people who suffer from strokes, as our next guest illustrates. Laraine Adams is here. Her 30-year-old fiance had a stroke last month. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
This was, what, 4 weeks ago?
About that, yes.
And you'd seen that television ad and recognised the symptoms, which is somewhat extraordinary. Just give a sense of what actually happened.
We'd seen the advert a few weeks before, and both of us were a little shocked by it while we were eating our dinner, and then never thought anything of it. A couple of weeks later, about 4 weeks ago now, Owen and I were at a friend's house. We'd had dinner with them, had a couple of bottles of wine, and the next morning when Owen got up, he said he felt as if he was still drunk. So we just all laughed it off a bit, and he said he was struggling to walk in a straight line. He was staggering a little bit and slurring, but I've seen him that way before, so we didn't worry too much. A few minutes later,
him receiving a business award.
That's him, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few minutes later, he put his head on my shoulder. And when he sat up, I could see the side of his face had fallen exactly like in the adverts. Myself and our friend Mike, who we were stopping with, both thought that's definitely not normal, and remembered the adverts. And while we still didn't quite believe that's what it was, I asked him if he could lift both his arms up like the advert said, and he couldn't lift his left arm. He thought he was lifting it, but he couldn't actually feel it at all, which was a little odd. And he also couldn't stand up. His left leg gave way underneath him.
So all classic signs then, but as you say, we've just seen him there. He's a very sporty guy, yes. Triathlete, just very active.
Absolutely.
Not someone that you would imagine initially to have a stroke, but then when you called the medical services, they said, yes, you had sort of identified that correctly, and that you had a very specific window of time in which to get him treatment.
That's right.
3 hours?
Yes. Yeah, not long at all, really. The emergency services were absolutely fantastic. They were there very, very quickly. They knew the signs, obviously, and they got him straight to the specialist stroke unit at the North Staff's Hospital, where they could treat it. And even with as quickly as they moved, Owen still only received the treatment just within the 3-hour window.
Really? So how is he now?
He's doing pretty well. Physically, he's almost back to normal. Mentally, there are a few problems, but we've been told to expect that. And we've had an awful lot of support from the Stroke Association and various volunteers of theirs, and he's doing pretty well. So we're very, very lucky, really.
And proposed?
Yes.
So congratulations as well in order. So getting married, what, this year, is it?
Yes, it's 17th of December.
Lovely. Well, congratulations. And he's got an awful lot to thank you for, although you'll both be looking after each other in years to come.
Definitely.
But thanks, and thanks for demonstrating to people at home as well.
Yeah.
So
No problem at all.
lessons learned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Face, arms, speech, time.
Absolutely.
Great stuff. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, if you've always dreamed about building your own home, this might actually be a good time to do it in spite of the recession, because that recession means there's been a jump of 34%, more than a third across the UK, in the number of plots available to build on.
So, yeah, lots of opportunity then, if you feel so inclined. Nicola Pearson is at the National Home Building and Renovating Show at the NEC in Birmingham with more. Good morning.